early.
Yo,
What it do, bro?
I'm doing well, Brody. What about yourself,
Yeah,
man?
I'm
It's kind of
cool.
early.
Yeah. What's today? Today's
27th, right?
the 27th.
27th.
You know what I'm saying? Day after Thanksgiving.
Black Friday, as
Black
as
Friday.
the Western world knows.
Yeah, right. Fucking, hey, if you in the comments and you know where the Black Friday deals are, let us know. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, it's so crazy just looking at the lifespan of this Black Friday, bro. You know, I was just talking to my bro yesterday, and we were saying, I remember when Black Friday used to be a deal thing. Like you would say it to your man, it's like, yo, you know about Black Friday this week?
Yeah.
You know, and then now, fast forward, you got all the commercials. Now they're already
Are
hit.
there
All the
even deals,
corporations,
bro?
like, bruh, it's low key to me, it's the same deal as after the end of the year, after Christmas sale, the Easter sale.
Yeah.
Like these big prominent sales throughout the years get different masks.
Yeah.
But if you look at that number, percentage wise,
it's the same
it's
thing.
the same shit.
And it's like
it was real though.
They don't even wait for Black Friday anymore. The deals are happening before, like, Wednesday.
November 1st. They're like
pre Black Friday deal. It's Wednesday, nigga. 100%. Like, so you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But hey, like, a nigga still, hey man, I wait for times like this to buy the things that I need. So if y'all niggas know where the deals are, please let me know.
I'm definitely looking forward.
I'm not anti-shopping today. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely looking forward to Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday too. Honestly, because of how things are, I feel like Black Friday is Cyber Monday.
The only reason why I distinguish them is I'm thinking Cyber Monday is going to be for like inventory I cannot personally get my hands on. I cannot see it or anything like that. Like here, but the price is knocked down if you want it.
I'll
go ahead and get that.
Yeah, so I feel like it's dope. So it is Black Friday. We got the weather for the weekend. Pretty solid. It's just gonna be cold. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be sunny, but it's just gonna be
cold because yesterday was beautiful.
Yesterday was fucking like 70 degrees.
Yo, yesterday was beautiful. I came out with a fucking coat.
Not even cold though, because I mean for this weekend, it's not even just going to be cold. It's going to be sunny, but 60. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then Saturday 57, Sunday 55. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy, but it's not going to be like yesterday, which was. And it might be. You know what I'm saying? You might step outside tomorrow. It might be fucking hot. Who knows?
Last weekend,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, is it? Technically,
no, this is just me and my like Game of Thrones.
Oh, word.
Coming,
word, yeah. And then we had the football games last night. Let's start with Washington. Washington's 4-7 now, which I mean, even just saying that, don't even. I feel like that is my team.
It's right on cue.
Right on cue. You know what I'm saying? They're not. It's not even that they're looking good. They're just 4-7, which oddly enough, is probably leading the division.
I'm not gonna lie though, man. And just full transparency, a disclaimer: I don't like Washington.
I do not like Washington.
but they got a couple dogs.
They got some pieces
on that team.
They got some pieces.
You got this dude that I was really sleep to for a majority of the season, Terry McLaurin.
Oh yeah, scary Terry. He a dog.
He's leading the league.
He got some dog in him too.
He's leading the league in his first 24 games in receiving yards all time over Jerry Rice. Like,
oh, word.
Right now, currently on the season, he has 101 catches and just over 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
y'all still got fucking 5 games to go.
Yeah,
that's a really good sign.
That's crazy. I would not even think
it's so low.
Motherfucking Redskins was slinging the ball around like that.
He is like a top 3-5 receiver in the league right now.
That's wild.
So that's awesome. Chase Young
shout out to Terry. Chase Young is a dog. That nigga Antonio Gibson.
Yeah.
That boy been balling.
Yeah, facts.
Motherfucking last night, what'd he do? Last night he had 20 rushes, 115 rushing yards, 3 tuds.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Antonio Gibson. I got a little clip of this nigga getting into the zone too.
Okay.
Antonio Gibson's he got some dog in him, bro. Like, then you know what I'm saying? This is a nice little scamper, bro.
Oh, it's scamper.
Yeah, nice little scamper. Yeah, he got a little swag to him. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I fuck with Antonio Gibson, and no, but I like you said, like what you said was right. I do think that the Redskins do have some pieces. You know, they're just not they're just not a good team,
and
the organization itself is just not good either. So.
Yeah, and the thing I always question in terms of when it comes to them is the development.
Yeah,
right. It's always about development. Like you may get players, but to see it through and to see that they progress how they're supposed to. We could. Dwayne Haskins looks like a somebody else's reclamation project.
He's out of there. He's out of there. That nigga's not gonna go another down for the rest.
Shout out to Alex Smith, because I am one of those individuals that I saw that leg and how it was looking afterwards. After that crazy injury, and I really thought it would be criminal for the Redskins team. Washington team.
Facts.
Thought it'd be criminal for them to even put him in.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
You're jeopardizing this guy.
You're jeopardizing this guy's life at this point.
Yeah,
he almost died from that leg injury because it got infected. Like, who would have known? But so he's been doing well. Like, he's been doing Alex Smith shit. One touchdown, one pick.
Just 180 yards.
180 yards. But he did come into the joint his first 2 games throwing over 300, and he did throw his career high like a couple games ago, 300.
Yeah, he had like damn near 400 or something like that. Yeah, but so he's been playing well.
Him,
I think he won.
I'm just glad he got back.
He's probably going to be most improved player or comeback player, whatever that joint is. Yeah, comeback player. I said most improved. Comeback player of the year. So shout out to the Redskins, man. They are the Washington football team. They did their thing. Next game was Detroit. No, sorry.
Get
Detroit and Houston. It was a blowout, 41-25. First of all, yesterday's game was a blowout for the Redskins, or for the Washington football team too. That was a blowout, 41-16.
Horrible matchup.
This one was 41-25. Houston was supposed to be good coming into the season, but they haven't been good. So the game just didn't turn out to be like, what I'm saying? It probably when it was put on the schedule, it was probably anticipating Houston to be a bigger draw.
100%. And it's really but it's more so an indictment on the Detroit Lions, because
big facts.
The Texans are horrible this year.
Yeah.
They're horrible. Their offensive line has not done anything for Deshaun. We can even argue Deshaun has somewhat regressed, but not even. But
he's been doing the most he can,
not to his own accord.
Yeah, he's been doing the most he can.
It's not to him. He's literally working with like what is that fucking
Will Fuller is the best friend.
Fucking fired, dog.
What's that guy? What is it, Bill O'Brien?
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien had
man. That guy, he wins sabotager of the year.
Yeah. Who's the worst between him and Adam Gase?
Oh, see, the thing about
or the biggest sabotager.
That's a great question, and I got the answer. I can break it down.
What it is?
Adam Gase is incompetent. So you could argue that's the worst.
He don't even know what he's doing. He don't know. He don't know that he don't know.
He doesn't even know what he's doing, bro. He doesn't even know what he's doing.
Big facts.
When it comes to the individual like Bill O'Brien, he knows what he's doing. He has some know-how in terms of the game of football. He has IQ about it, but he also, I think he's exercising what all of us humans have, and that's ego, and pride, and a little bit of get back when you see the writing on the wall. So you're like, and this is the reason why he's even enabled to even get back. I always have a problem when head coaches are the GM of the team as well, because I feel as if you're stretching yourself very fucking thin. Because a GM, it's a real
position,
fucking position, man. Like, I'm literally gonna give the coach the pieces to work with, and you also. You put in like your own little imprint on that and what you look for. If that's your coach, you know what I'm saying? There's really nobody to call you out in your shit or like bounce back your thoughts. Like, I don't know if that's like, how we should build up our team.
Yeah, big fact.
And then, when you trade DeAndre Hopkins, who's arguably the best receiver in the game, the best hands in the game, to Arizona Cardinals for a fucking washed up David Johnson in a second round pick. Not even a first. That lets me know that there's somebody that's really trying to be off them my way or the highway shit. You know what I'm saying? And then he got fired. And when he got fired, he left him in a fucking whack ass position. And now Deshaun Watson is gonna have to, bear the brunt.
And I even saw Detroit they're not even in a better situation, because I saw fucking, what did I see? I saw a stat that said Matt Patricia, this is the second week in a row that they lost to a team that had 3 wins. So I mean, Detroit, they're
And Matt Patricia,
Matt Patricia, he's not that nice either, bro. Because even there was even talks. What was it last year or 2 years ago where like they were like niggas wasn't even playing. There was one game they got blown out on prime time, and niggas was talking about like niggas don't really respect Matt Patricia. And I thought he was gonna be gone, but here we are a year or 2 years later, and he's still there.
You know, because ownership and Alliance was sucking off the fact that he comes from that Bill Belichick lineage.
Yeah, big facts.
And shout out Mike Vrabel. Because he's really doing the thing.
He's really
changing the culture down there. And then when you contrast that with what's going on with the Lions, it's kind of wild because you had Jim Caldwell, black head coach, who was doing this thing for 4 years.
Yeah,
progression was slow, but it was happening.
Yeah.
And another problem what I have with a lot of franchises is how the fuck you trying to set the standard of excellency when your whole history has been trash? How the fuck do you do that? Like, nah, we need the best. We need the best of the best. Like, bro, y'all ain't won a playoff game in 6 decades.
Yeah.
A playoff win in 6 decades.
What's that, 60 years?
Dog.
6 decades?
It's been 3 since they've been there.
God damn.
Well, like, bro, like Barry Sanders and
it's Calvin been 3 decades? I'm 30 years old, so they haven't been to the playoffs since I've been alive.
Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson's what they hang their hat on.
Yeah, just great players. Great players that they didn't do anything with.
All-time players wasted their prime.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they get the Thanksgiving game every year. What the fuck?
You know what?
Do you deserve tradition? What tradition?
Yeah. It's just one of those. NFL is all about tradition. You know what I mean? It don't matter where it's taking you. It's just about tradition. But this is a very interesting segue into something that I saw. I think you saw this too, but the NFL came out with this new like program.
Yeah.
To try to incentivize coaches for grooming black coaches or incentivize NFL teams for grooming black coaches like and general managers. You know what I'm saying? So like the idea behind it was to try to get motherfuckers to hire black. You know what I'm saying? But like it didn't go well. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers did not take it for that. You know what I'm saying? It was really ill received. And let me just look at some of the things that were on the joint because they made like some of the, I guess, rules you would call them, like public.
Bro, this shit was really hilarious. Like when I saw this banner come across SportsCenter, I was like, "Yo, are you fucking serious?" Nah, I was like, "Yo, niggas really got like some nerve." Like, dang, like.
I mean, I understand what they're trying to do.
I understand.
It's like hire black people, and but it's like you should just say that, and that should be enough. Yeah, or you should. I mean, honestly, you shouldn't have to say it. But
it's just it's just weird. It's like you're trying to tokenize it.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah. So they were saying, okay, teams move up 6 slots in the 3rd round for hiring a minority head coach, or 10 spots in the 3rd round for hiring a person of color as its general manager. If a team hires a minority coach and GM, it jumps 16 spots. Teams would get bonuses for keeping minorities in those positions. So, first of all, you're not getting like more picks. You're moving up in the 3rd round, which everybody in the 3rd round is basically on the same level. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of. I don't think it's necessary. Let me.
With football, it's different.
No, you're right.
The best player in the draft being the 4th round.
No, you're right. No, you're right. I'm not trying to say that was not necessarily what I meant, but it's like if I move up in the 3rd round, I'm still gonna get the guy that I wanted in the 3rd round. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not getting like I'm not changing people because I'm going 20th versus 10th. You know what I'm saying? Because whoever's on my board is probably not on the other top 20 picks' board. You know what I mean? So that's more what I mean. Like you're not changing it from I can get a 3rd round talent to potentially a 1st round talent. You know what I'm saying? Or even a 7th round talent to a 3rd round talent. You know what I mean? It's so. Is that an incentive? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's an incentive because you move up, but like still, like you that's not reason for niggas to. I don't know, man. It's not going to change nobody's mind about. If I wasn't going to hire a black person, that's not going to make me hire a black person.
Yeah, and to me, that all that does is just highlight the systemic issue y'all have. Like this is your solution, so this obviously means it's a problem.
Yeah.
And it also goes to show that, look, owners, we can't control owners. We're literally trying to do shit that would make them want to make that choice. Like, well, it's not on their own accord, but they're like, if we leave it as is, it's kind of like the NFL admitting to everybody, we can't change this shit. We have to like put a reward at it to make niggas try to change that shift, and then it can be somewhat of a norm moving forward. But I just think it's an indictment on them. It's nothing really. I just be like, leave it alone and just stress the fact that you should just keep giving them looks. You know what I'm saying? Give them the interviews, and don't give them the interviews as a sake of fulfilling the Rooney rule and just be like, oh, we did it. Like, no, like actually view the candidate in terms of like of the merits.
Because this goes back to competence. Like, who interviewed Adam Gase and said, "Yeah, you're the right man for the job"? Who interviewed motherfucking Bill O'Brien and said, "You're the right man"? They as soon as they put Romeo Crennel in there, they were 3-1 or something. Like, what are the Texans? The Texans are like, you got lift your.
This joint keep on.
Twist it.
Right at this joint. Right. Okay.
But so like niggas like Romeo Crennel, black coach. You know what I'm saying? And then also there's another twist.
Okay, twisties.
Romeo Crennel, black coach. You know what I'm saying? He's been doing his thing. You know what I mean? But he was under Bill O'Brien. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, who saw Bill O'Brien?
But hey, man,
Adam Gase and was like, oh, these guys are competent.
I fuck with Romeo Crennel. I do, but
he's not the guy.
That was his defense.
Oh, that was his defense.
That was his defense.
That's been getting torched.
Patrick Mahomes.
That's been getting torched.
They were up 24 points on them in the playoffs, and Patrick Mahomes came back on the second half and dropped a 51 piece on them.
51
and
points?
They responded with a field goal.
51 points?
Bro, it was 24. You don't remember that? Fucking the playoffs. It was like 24-0. 24-0, 24-7. Patrick Mahomes came back in the second half. The game was over 51-28.
Jesus Christ.
And then the Titans, he did it again. The Titans, they're about to win that game.
Yeah.
He came back and beat them.
Pat Mahomes is a
bro,
dog.
He the best. He the best.
Yeah.
He's the best in the game.
He a dog.
He's the best. And yeah, Adam Gase, I don't know if people had time, but like he's literally his video. We might even be able to pull it up to you within this hour. When he got hired, he was high.
Really?
He was high when he got hired. In his little introduction speech to the Jets, bro, he was zooted, and that's what let me know.
What, off reef?
Bro, no, not off.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, he's probably on some other shit.
Look at this. You gonna see it. Hey, nah,
which gets
hired. Gets hired. Just say gets hired.
Gets hired.
What a Jets conference am I? Hey yo, just
look at this nigga's face, bro.
Bro, he's on the pills. On the pills, heavy.
Let me share my screen. This nigga look crazy.
This is how I knew.
This nigga look crazy.
Look at his fucking eyes, man, bro. Now you about to geek. Oh man,
you gotta pay the bills.
Facts. This is gonna give me a good old laugh.
I just want to start off thanking the rest of the Jets organization. I know it was a long process for you guys. A lot of candidates. There was a lot of tireless nights. I know we had a couple late night FaceTime sessions.
Hey yo.
This nigga.
Hey yo.
Yo, his eyeballs are going crazy.
Yo.
This nigga eyeballs going crazy. It's like, where are they got people in the rafters or what? like I want to see what he's looking at.
This is where the tweakage starts. Peep, my man. People.
Yo.
Hey, cuz.
What year did he get hired? 2019?
Whew. Yeah.
Who you talking about? Darnold?
He's talking about Darnold. And Darnold's
trash.
Yeah, man. It's kind of crazy. I don't want to. Yeah, so y'all get the point.
Yeah, we're off this.
All right, man.
All right, Gase.
Yeah, I don't want to harp on, again,
it's easier for white folks. Just the barriers just
and the thing with football, at least because I come from a basketball background, shit with football, that shit is truly, man, it don't matter how fucking nice you are, man.
Yeah.
If your surrounding parts ain't doing their job, you too will look like trash.
Big facts. Big facts. Okay, let's you know what I'm saying, pay the bills, and we'll be right back with. You already know you watching Early the Morning Show podcast. We're taking a quick break just to say, man, if you here watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button real quick, man. We try and get to a stat. Help us get to a stat. You know what I'm saying? Hit that subscribe button. If you on Facebook, like, share, you know what I'm saying? Things like that are cool. But otherwise, man, just continue enjoying the show. Let's get right back to it. Early, the Morning Show podcast.
Could you let me tap that one more time?
Okay, we got oh yeah. So another interesting thing that happened this week, bro, and something that, like, not even just that it's interesting, but it's like kind of been on my mind, is the so a lot of people know Dave Chappelle has been going back and forth with fucking Comedy Central forever, like since he left that joint.
Right.
And it went crazy because like this I guess what, it's been like not even 2 weeks. It's been like a week and a half since Dave Chappelle, Chappelle show. Sorry.
You saw his new stand-up? I think it's on IG.
Yeah. So like what's interesting about Dave Chappelle, I listened to him on the Joe Rogan podcast a few days ago.
Oh, he got a new joint.
Yeah, he got a new joint on Joe Rogan. And he wasn't even talking about this, so it probably came out before the IG clip that he dropped.
Okay.
But Dave Chappelle's just like he just does shows. Like he does shows all the time. Even still during the pandemic, he's been doing like outdoor shows and things like that. And apparently, I guess what he does is just records them and then drops them when he feels like it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because when what was that, George Floyd died, and he dropped a joint on YouTube.
Impromptu.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And then so like I don't necessarily follow him on Instagram, but the way that he's dropping his material is very interesting. It's not like he's just doing stand-up specials, or like, you know how some people be, you know, don't record at my shows and put it on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? But like he'll drop his own like 15-minute of his set on Instagram. And you know there was more to the beginning and to the end of that set. But I think that's interesting. I've never really seen anybody, especially any comedians, drop content that way. You know what I mean?
I feel like, you know, Dave Chappelle's an individual that's kind of like played the background a lot after, you know, arguably having like the highest plateau as being a comedian, you know, and Kevin Hart really does the business of the shit really fucking well, right? But I think I really love this little pocket Dave Chappelle's found himself in, thanks to Netflix too, right? And it's kind of funny because Netflix is like the uninterested party. Like they're just like, yo, I do business with whoever wants to cut the check. So like,
big fact.
Like Dave Chappelle got an ongoing deal with Netflix. It's very lucrative, as so does Netflix has deals with Comedy Central. You know what I'm saying? And these two are at odds with each other. You know what I'm saying? Netflix still gonna pay their bills, but I find it very interesting. But I think it's I think how Dave Chappelle drops his content is kind of reflective in terms of how we digest it. You know, make sure that shit is reflective of the current society, and
then put it where people are.
Exactly.
Like
and
whether
also,
it's Netflix, whether it's YouTube, whether Instagram.
And when his first one that he had dropped in this year too, is kind of also showing an awareness in terms of the times that we're in, and sometimes we're living so bizarre to the point that comedy, you know, in a way was, you couldn't even necessarily say you can make fun of life because life was getting too bizarre. So you kind of have to even alter your comedy. Like, is this shit
something
going
about Dave is like, that nigga's never been on some like, oh, I gotta alter my shit for what people think. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's never really been on that. He's always been on some, you know, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do. And I've always fucked with that for sure. But more specifically to this like issue or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
He literally in his stand-up asked people to not watch Chappelle's show if they fuck with him, right?
Right.
And me and you kind of had a conversation about this before, about one, like, I think it's so interesting that like the content itself is bigger than the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers are really going through like an internal dilemma of like, well, yeah, I do love Dave, but I love the show and I can't not watch it. Like, if it's available to me. And then the whole aspect with Netflix taking it off, like, to me, that's good business on their part. Like, keep your guy happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the show's gonna stream, but it can stream anywhere. So like
Right.
you don't necessarily need to be the one streaming it.
That's very true.
But also I thought it was very interesting. Like, bro, the moment that shit was on Netflix, that shit was like on the top 5 trending like every day that it was on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just like, bro, the show is so like popular. Like, bro, like I don't even know if it's more popular than Dave himself. You know what I mean?
You know, it's so crazy because you said it perfectly. You know, usually people like when your creation gets somewhat bigger than the person in itself, right? It's like how do I want to link this? I was gonna say, fuck, see, train of thought, bro.
Train of thoughts. If you missed that train, bro.
Damn, it's coming.
Nah, yeah, but I mean, we'll get it in until you get back there. But fucking, so let me share the story. Okay, yeah. So he explains why people should stop watching. What's it called? We were kind of having a talk about yesterday, which I thought was very interesting, about like the talent versus like the business side. There's like the conversation is always being had, yeah, but like people really need to understand how businesses operate and how they work and like what roles you play within that. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, it's agreed from the beginning what you are, whether you're an employee, whether you're a partner, whether like the
shares, revenue earnings,
like all of that stuff is agreed in the beginning. Like that's what a contract is when you're signing a contract. And Dave was saying a lot like, yeah, I signed the contract. I know what I signed. Like, maybe at the time he didn't know what he signed, but like now he knows what he signed. So he's not necessarily saying like, he's more saying fuck Comedy Central for like how they have handled everything. But I'm like, they're a business operating like a business. You know what I'm saying?
In their best interest.
Yeah, like they're a business operating like a business. So speaking as someone who loves Dave Chappelle, you know what I'm saying? Like I understand where they're coming from. I don't necessarily agree with it because I feel like, you know, as a business, one of your things too is to figure out ways to make money. So like if one way, but I mean, look, they have that thing like that. They own the show. And if that's the thing that helps them make money, getting it on Netflix, yeah, that was okay. Like we're going to figure out another way to make money. We're going to put it on Netflix, but it's like, you guys have a lot of content. Like if you didn't want to use that, you didn't have to. It's probably their biggest banking thing. So me, who runs and operates and owns a business, I would, me and my right mind, I would never say, don't sell your highest ticket thing. Like that doesn't make no sense.
Because he said no.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What I would say is like, okay, try to recollect that relationship. If you can't recollect that relationship, then, you know, make whatever decisions you got to make. You know what I'm saying? Netflix kind of did the same thing in the opposite direction. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we don't want to sully this relationship or tarnish this relationship, so let's keep this nigga happy. Like, yeah, there's we can make other shows. We can make money off of other shows. Like Chappelle Show, it's a huge draw, but we don't necessarily need it. You know what I mean?
And it's even crazy even how some of these businesses even operate. Like Netflix, I would consider them a lot more socially aware company. Like you hear rumblings from outside, like they're definitely going to be proactive about it, you know, because people, as opposed to Comedy Central, maybe they don't necessarily feel that flame as much. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like
they're one of those traditional networks.
Exactly. You know like, and we're like, we're not in the wrong. Like you guys are making this emotional appeal to us and trying to say like, it's fucked up. Like, yeah, it's fucked up. Shit's fucked up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But it's
that's
business
the deal.
and the revenue is
you know,
attracting revenue.
Back to now I can recall what it was I was want to say. And usually, you know, it takes for people to get canceled for you to not support any of their works. Like, you'll still have people that are like, yo, bro, I don't care. Like, I'm always going to buy R. Kelly. Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? But fucking, when it comes to this Dave Chappelle shit, you actually have the artists themselves
saying,
telling
don't watch my shit.
Don't watch my shit. And that's kind of even a trip in itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, damn.
Yeah.
So, and this is the shit I was telling you how I was conflicted about. Because it's like, dog, Dave's my guy. And I want this guy to win.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Fuck the corporation.
Yeah.
But if this dude told me to stop, you know, it's so crazy because
it's like you got to like they got to figure that out.
Yeah,
like, you know,
like,
they got to cut you a check. I agree. They got to cut you a check. I agree. But like me, like I'm not gonna cut the check.
And this is the thing too. This is another thing as well. Like I've went years without watching the Chappelle Show too. That's the funny thing, right?
I can do
that's
it.
That's the funny thing.
Yeah, but it's right in your face. It's on your menu.
Once it gets presented to me in my face, and I'll click play, and then I go back down in the nostalgic memory lane. I'm like, fuck, Dave.
Yeah.
They got me. Like, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
That's you. You say no.
There's a lot of like just cultural phenomenons that came from that show, bro. Like the racial draft, the fucking Tyrone Biggums
How
thing.
much shit wouldn't fly in this era?
Yeah.
That's one thing that's also I feel like
but it was like ahead of its time type shit.
Yeah. It was, but it was also so reflective of its time. Like, could you also just say it was so honest?
It's like what people say now of like inviting people to the cookout. It's like the same kind of. It's like that's like a racial draft type term.
I would say, not even necessarily like ahead of its time, but more so just like, yo, I have no cut card with this shit, but not a cut card in terms of trying to get shock value out of you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you a cut card off some. Yeah,
these are based off of real things.
This is crazy, right?
It's just
this
like
is what's happening.
Told from a comedic kind of like funny, a little over exaggerated.
And that's
story.
Dave Chappelle's whole genius. Like every one of those skits, you can have a conversation when that shit stops.
Yeah,
even the timing of it and everything. Like even when shit went like Clay and Bigsby, shit goes into commercial after that skit. What the fuck are you talking about until this shit come right back on for the next 3 minutes? Like, dog,
and I think it was one of those skits that was like a little overdrawn. So like, if I remember correctly, like they went to commercial and then they came back to it.
You're right.
If I remember,
you're right.
As opposed to like
was one of those
sketches where it was like with a sketch and then they go to commercial, they come back to a new sketch. 100%.
You know? Like one joint too, like Player Haters Ball. I'm like, dog, this is
all the Charlie.
This is crazy.
First of all, Charlie Murphy became Charlie Murphy because of that show.
Rest
like,
in peace,
not to say that I didn't know who he was. Of course, I knew who he was, but like niggas wasn't checking for Charlie until that show.
That was the show.
Rick James. I feel like niggas didn't even know who Rick James was. Like, I mean, if you were our old head, our era of niggas didn't know who Rick James was
until a wild cokehead from Eddie Murphy story.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And Mary Jane and the Mary Jane song. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But other than that, like. Dave Chappelle turned the Prince joint when Dave Chappelle was playing Prince. Like,
bro,
all these like stupid and both the Rick James joint and the Prince joint were both Charlie Murphy stories.
You know how many times I heard a nigga hit call game blouses?
Yeah, game.
You know the time I heard that niggas be serious like game blouses. It's like, yo,
that's some stupid shit. And then the picture surfaced of Prince actually playing basketball.
Yo, and he's nice. He's really nice in Minnesota. Dog, it's so crazy when he let both of his hands off the rim and he was still in the air. I was crying. Yo. I was literally crying when I first seen that shit.
Weak. But no, so I think the bigger conversation, the thing that kind of made my mind go a place, right, where my mind went to after that was the whole thing with like creatives, like with creatives and making money. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to be creative or are you trying to make money? Because like you give up a little bit of yourself the more you want for your work, if that makes any sense. Like the more you want to monetize your shit,
right,
the more you have to consciously understand that like I have to give something up, even if it's not like I don't want to give up creative control. Okay, fine, you can have creative control, but like who's going to do the marketing? Who's going to get your shit out there so people can see it, so it can potentially make you millions or thousands, and I'm talking about on every level, because we only think 100%. Of it on the Dave Chappelle level where it's the difference between him being a billionaire and $100 millionaire. Right. You know what I mean? The value of that show, because like if he gets compensated the way he should for that show, he's probably a billion. He's probably the highest paid. The same way Jerry Seinfeld doesn't have to do nothing and he's still the highest paid comedian because of Seinfeld,
or Kevin Hart,
you know what I'm saying? But Kevin Hart don't have nothing that's like, bro, we're talking about. We're talking about something for like 15, 20 years. I think that's residual. Like Dave Chappelle should have been making bread, a lot of bread, from the day that this show aired, which was 15 years ago. We didn't even know Kevin Hart 15 years ago. So I'm not saying Kevin Hart doesn't have nothing of that value, but like it has not even. I would say Real Husbands of Hollywood.
That's what
to be syndicated, because TV money syndication is a different thing, bro. That's like getting radio streams. Like every time it gets played, you get paid for that. And then anytime a station, like stations buy it from you to stream it on their stations. Seinfeld is playing on Fox. Like you can't even go on a network television station without seeing Seinfeld at some point. And it's on TBS, and then it's also on Hulu. You know what I'm saying? So like this nigga's getting a check from all of those places. You know what I'm saying? So Kevin Hart Kevin Hart's draw is more like, nigga, I'll pay you $100 million to show up right now.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right,
It's not like I'm gonna pay you $100 for $100 million for something you did 10 years ago.
I guess the reason why I brought up Kevin Hart is because it was a matter of, and he dropped
He will get there. Kevin Hart will be probably
he dropped the latest joint too, but I've
heard terrible reviews on it. I haven't watched it.
Yeah,
but also you can't get me to watch a Kevin Hart stand up anymore.
I don't really.
He lost me after Grown Little Man.
I don't care because I don't like the humor when it's like people are making fun of themselves. I'm like, get us to laugh with you, not at you.
Yeah,
I feel like that is like like I feel like that is somebody's like a comedian's back pocket shit. Like laugh at me.
Yeah. Laugh at me.
Like, man, nah, bro. Like, nah, give me the fucking joke. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to laugh for real.
Like what's the punchline?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But what was we just saying?
We was talking about the relationship. People have a fucked up relationship between like how to make money off of your work and how to just do your work and maybe get recognition or some other kind of like love.
And I was gonna say too, like that you have the creativity side and then you have like making money side. And it's funny because I used to always say, yeah, they're on the opposite sides of the spectrum, but now I don't even necessarily view it like that. I just view it as if like either or, you need to assume that mind state. So it's like, dog, if you want to make this shit lucrative, you want to make profit off of this, you need to literally, you know what I'm saying, crush the numbers and be on that type of mind frame.
Yeah.
To be creative, like it doesn't have space with that in your mind. Like you can't be thinking about the money and shit because now you're limiting.
That's why motherfuckers go to like, oh, I want to be discovered. I want to be found. I want to like, why? Because you want someone to put the light on the thing that you have.
No, even with us, like and this is like doesn't even matter which type of to which degree that you're creating. Like you could be an ultimate creator and it could still affect you, like because you literally know in the back of your mind like you don't have this budget, so you don't think this grand scale thing. Like we don't think about like me and you writing some screens. Like we've never wrote some shit where it's like, yo bro, then we would board the private jet, and then from the private jet we'll go to like, no, niggas do that.
Yeah,
you niggas do that, but it's like, nah, but I don't have these resources to go ahead and do that as of right now.
Yeah.
So my creativity, although I could think up some crazy shit, and now that I'm saying that, that's still no reason to not go ahead and draw that idea out. Because I get everything starts somewhere.
Yeah.
So you should, but it goes to show like it doesn't really matter what level you're at. Like these mind states could always be conflicting in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's true. But and in addition to that, I think, again, man, I'm a creative and I'm a business person. So like I'm always thinking of it from both sides, bro. But you have to because but also, so like me saying that, I fully understand, bro, that like when I am in creative mode, sometimes what I've realized is like the best things that I've ever made have not been seen by the amount of people that I wish it was seen by. And that's when you got to link up with someone who has the draw of all, like I can get 1 million eyes on your shit. If you get 1 million eyes on your shit, maybe 100,000 of those people will become fans of yours. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But like I would not have 100,000 fans if you didn't put 1 million eyes on my shit. 100%. And I couldn't have put 1 million eyes on my shit. 100%. Yeah, I had the work where it was like, if motherfuckers see it, they're gonna be like, oh, this shit is nice. And I'm gonna put him on to, I'm gonna put him on with people that I know. I'm gonna be like the same way I do with like IMDb or like Low Village. I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all niggas should check these niggas out. You know what I'm saying? And when I do that, people will be like, oh no, like yeah, I fuck with these people. You know what I'm saying? Or I fuck with this artist. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, when you got like networks doing that for you and they give you 100 million people, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't like take that for granted. And this is not in the case of Dave Chappelle, because like you've heard stories where like people knew Dave was Dave when they saw him. Like niggas kind of knew he was like a cut above the rest from the jump. So I'm not necessarily talking about him. I'm more talking about the conversation that he's having. Whereas like, yeah, Comedy Central did what they're supposed to do. They gave you a platform to have one of the greatest shows ever. And now they own the show, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like, it's because, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's because it's like, that's, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man.
Perfect time to just drop an example of, how one could do it, but it might be a lot more of an arduous task. And you're not going to be in the spotlight like Dave Chappelle, like the way that Dame Dash is running his Dame Dash Studios, right?
Yeah.
And okay, so don't have the notoriety, but I have the freedom and I have total creative control.
Yeah.
And I would never find myself in a situation that you find yourself in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And because this is the thing. The reason why I'm even bringing that up is because people are gonna argue. They'll argue to the grave as to why
you have to go that way. You have to go that way, and the
And
businesses
like,
should take care of the employees.
It's like, okay, then you know what? Why don't you build the business?
Yeah,
and also not also just on your own behalf and making sure that you're monetized fully off of your work, but like being able to take care of people within the same space coming up, the newer generation. Like now, here you can. So this is
it's like when the shoe's on your foot, would you take care of motherfuckers? It actually costs you money to do things. Like people be like, dog, during this pandemic, you'll hear shit like, oh, don't fire your motherfuckers. Like, let them work from home and still pay them more. Like people be like, I want to do less work and I want to get paid more. And I'm like, in what world? How does that work?
We'll all go down.
Someone who operates a business, it's like, bro, like we operate a business, bro. Right. And and during this pandemic, I'm in healthcare, and during this pandemic, luckily because we're essential workers, we still had to work. But what they were doing, what they call hazard pay, where you pay people more because you're asking them to work in the middle of a pandemic, right? But it's not a blanket thing, bro. Like if you don't make that much money from the jump, like where is the money coming from that you're paying them more with? Coming out of the owner's pockets? How is that fair? You know what I'm saying? Like how is that fair? I've developed the platform, or I could fire you. If I fire you, oh, then you're a fucking tyrant. You're the fucking worst. Well, bro, I don't have money to pay you. What do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? And like I don't understand how people can not understand. Like money does not come from nowhere. And I don't want to hear, oh, the government prints money. That has nothing to do with the actual businesses who like are self-starters, or just if you're not part of the government, you have no, you know what I'm saying, you have no control over that. You know what I'm saying? So like I hear like these ridiculous claims like, oh, like people, I don't know, I really don't think people understand like money doesn't just come from nowhere. Money is generated off of your output, off of your value. You know what I'm saying?
What is it about people being in these positions of big responsibility and also being responsible for like paying people that makes others on the other end view it as if like you're not, I don't want to make it that deep. This is like, bro, you're in another, like,
you should take care of us.
It doesn't affect
who cares
you.
Who takes care of you?
It doesn't affect you though.
Doesn't matter who takes care of you. You should take care of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's kind of like, yo, I've been taking care of you and I'm continuing to do that.
But also,
how are you gonna act?
I've been taking care of you.
That's what I've been.
Never once asked, how are you getting taken care of? How you been? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a person.
I care,
and I'm a person.
That's the reality.
Something that I've also realized is like motherfuckers don't treat people like they're people. They look at motherfuckers based on your title,
and status,
and they treat you like you're a title. You know what I'm saying? Not like you're a person. So like, and I don't know. I feel like I've had this conversation a lot. Really I don't know if it's necessarily on this podcast, but where I'm about to take it. Where I'm about to take it. I feel like I've said this a lot, but I don't know if it's necessarily on this podcast. But it's like kind of the whole Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk thing about like how they make so much money. You know what I'm saying? People don't like that they make so much money, but I'm like, let's look at the fucking dynamics here. One, you contribute to something that literally you created a thing that every single person on the planet uses. Why wouldn't you be compensated like you are, like you made that? You know what I'm saying? Like like Jeff Bezos shouldn't be paid what I'm paid. Like this nigga, like don't get me wrong, I affect a lot of people. I think about that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't affect nearly as much. Even the people that are saying he shouldn't be paid are people who use Amazon. Like you don't do anything in this modern day without using Amazon or tapping into something that Amazon is servicing. You know what I'm saying?
I was really going to talk
about. Big businesses are all like almost every business is on Amazon's web services, whether you're using them for commerce or not. Like their software is being used by every single company on the planet.
Folks scold the same services, platforms, shit that they use
that are convenient.
Daily basis.
They're convenient for them.
They scold them.
And they act like they're not. So that's one thing, right? But the thing is too, we look at, if Jeff Bezos gave half of his wealth to his employees, blah, blah, blah. Why would he do that? Why should he do that? He gives them a job. They get a paycheck every 2 weeks in the middle of a pandemic too. You know what I'm saying? Like Amazon's been hiring more people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dog, like people don't understand. It's like, dog, how come the nigga can't help people and also eat more than everyone else? It's fair. He went a long time without eating. And there's pictures of there's pictures of this nigga in a little baby ass office with a fucking banner that says Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I want to make this disclaimer too. This is not really us, trying to like empathize with billionaire shit. We're just really this is business. This is literally business, and this is literally like we're just trying to break down like how shit's like the back end of shit.
So I think it's unfair.
It doesn't make sense.
I think it's an unfair criticism to like bash people who have money just for the sake that they have money, and then expect that they're supposed to give it to who you want it, not just give it away, but give it to the people that you want them to give it to. Because like something that I always bring up is like the people who are the highest, who are the wealthiest, are also the most philanthropic. Like they also give away the most money. And then people will be like, oh, they're doing it for tax write-offs. Who the fuck cares why they're doing it? The motherfuckers that are hungry are receiving that bread. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter if they're doing it for the kindness of their heart. Like a dollar is a dollar, no matter like where it came.
Why is everybody? Why people be trying to play God? Like now, the person actually
the morality
did the people did the action. Why did you do that, dog? Did these people not eat? Dog, it don't even matter.
It don't matter why. You know what I'm saying?
This is the thing, because people always need to be constantly updated so they can constantly update their personal opinion of you.
Yeah,
and they don't want that to be out of date. I gotta know who the fuck this person is.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you know, sometimes it's like we getting so caught up in our own shit. It's kind of like you're caught up in your emotions so much that you're not even understanding how the actions of others are benefiting others.
Yeah.
And you're not happy about that.
Yeah.
You're still, there's still something.
I've seen a lot
there's
of
something
that,
sinister though. There's something about it. It's like, yo, bro, just relax.
Definitely in the last couple months, I've seen so much of that it's just like heavy on my heart. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, because the thing is, bro, like I aspire to be very wealthy. You know what I'm saying? Right. But also like I know what I'm doing right now to get there, and I don't want nobody to tell me what to do with my money when I get there, because there's nobody telling me what to do right now. As I'm pursuing it, everybody's telling me to no, come hang out. No, why you work so much? Take more breaks. Okay, fine. Keep that same energy when I, you know, become wealthy and I know how I got there. And then, you know what I'm saying, I keep operating in the same, because the thing is, it's a lot about habits. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna like just develop the traits of a wealthy person in your 40s and then be wealthy also in your 40s. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Like I'm trying to develop those. I've been trying to develop these traits since 25.
There's a reason why people, you know, lottery winners trick off. Like
because like you have the habits of a poor person. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So like you're meant to be poor. Like I can give you all of the money in the world and you're meant to be poor. So you're gonna treat that money like a poor person. Whereas like and the thing is you don't get so like the reason I say it's habits is because, bro, like some of my habits are to not spend on things that aren't like vital to what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very, you know what I'm saying? You just noticed new mics. I was just thinking like, bro, I buy mics like I used to buy shoes, bro. Like I haven't bought shoes or clothes in a long time. But like the moment I'm looking
through these joints,
I buy mics all the time.
This is like the fourth, fifth model,
or just like production equipment. I buy production equipment like it's the latest trend, bro. But like and it's not like, you know, somebody might look at me and be like, that's not a good spend of money. Right. Maybe it's not.
Maybe it is. Might be like, damn.
Yeah, I wasted. Yeah.
But I learned, like, and I'm good. Just for this not working, the production will get better because now I know I do know what I need.
Yeah.
And now, boom,
and it's a different mindset. So it's like, but also, bro, like you will not catch me spending like $300 on a pair of shoes anymore. I just won't do that just because like I've like my habits and my there's been a shift, right? Yeah. So I just don't like, because I've been criticized for the shift too. Like I was criticized when I was living at my mom's house, but that was a plan to save money to buy my own house. You know what I'm saying? Like I was, but all these moves I've been criticized for. I was criticized for switching career fields, but like it's been the best decision I ever made. Like all these things that I was criticized for are going to inevitably be the reason why I become wealthy if I do. And I don't want at that time people to start coming at me like, oh, you should do this with your money. You should do that with your money. Because those are all people. Those are going to be probably the same people who were telling me I should do this with my time. I should do that with my time. You know what I mean?
There's the shift.
That you're not like, you don't make the decisions, bro. Like, and if you did make the decisions, you would have what you would have it.
And this is the thing, right? And you know, you see how you substituted first it was time and now it's money. Yeah, it's like those are the same people that don't realize, like, you know, time is your best. You know, that's your best commodity. You know, that's really your best commodity. Yeah, that's it right there. You know what I'm saying? How you utilize your time. If you have purpose in your life, you utilize your time very differently from those that are not necessarily clear on their purpose or don't care to find out what it is. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like literally, I think
about that all the time.
You prioritize that, and it's like I'm moving in flow with that, which it is. Like I always say to myself all the time, I move how I move. because there's so many things in this life that I want for myself. So I always feel like you're not that far from deluding yourself from this shit if you don't go out and try to get it.
Yeah.
Like this shit ain't no. And look, man, there's some truths and there's some validities and there's real things to take away from metaphysics. But I feel like a lot of people really run off with that law of attraction shit, like in the worst
Yeah.
of ways.
Like literally speaking it
This is
into
not.
existence.
Yeah,
all that shit.
yeah, you should speak it. Yeah, you should believe it. But you think that's not. This is not a genie in
It's
a
like-
fucking bottle.
It's
This
like
is
you
not
say
like
it as
I said it.
You believe it
won't-
as you're doing it. Like you know, I
Exactly.
believe I can do it. When I'm at my computer, I'm like, oh, so this is what it means to be a
Bro,
producer.
because
You know, what I'm saying? when I'm on the way to a shoot, or when I'm like, even dog, something that I've been thinking about a lot is like my process of packing things up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when I'm packing up my gear, I'd be like, oh, like this is what it is. Like this is what it means to, you know what I'm saying, do the thing. So like I'm very one, I'm just happy at like where I'm at, but I think a lot about this is the process of the person. This is the process that the person that I want to be is taking. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We'll be right back. Early.
Okay.
But yeah, man.
Nah, bro. That's
So yeah, that was a crazy tangent, but I think it's time we, you know what I'm saying, we wrap up this hour. Anything you got going on this weekend, bro?
the infamous question.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to go to the plant nursery. Go to my favorite nursery, Plants Alive. Probably later today. I'm gonna eat some leftovers.
Big facts.
Got a bunch of those.
Yeah, I got some leftovers in my fridge.
Definitely eating good. Start some edits up. I'm trying to think. Do I have a highlight of my weekend coming up? Yeah, that's all that comes to mind, Pretty chill. I think I might just bite the bullet and I might get my lifetime membership.
Yeah.
And that's going to geek my life. I'm really gonna.
Are you looking forward to being in a lifetime?
Bruh, come on, man.
Happy to have you.
Yeah,
we'll be happy to
have you.
Right.
We got
I'm
a fellow member right
I'm
here.
in that joint.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you. Like when I had went off that guest, and I've been before. I always love it, but it was a long time since I've been.
Yeah.
And then I was just in that joint. I was just like, man, bro, this is the ideal gym. And now the weather's getting a little bit colder.
Got a basketball court.
That's the thing. I used to go to LA
got
Fitness.
the turf field up top.
Yeah. Oh, man. And the
spa.
The boxing.
Yeah, got the
man,
man.
like it got everything, like whatever, like you can really get on your muscle confusion shit. You can really work.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things.
Shit, do different types of
I'm not even gonna lie. The reason I hit up Lifetime, one was I definitely wanted access to indoor basketball court and a pool, but also the like the showers, like the locker room is nice as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I never used to shower in gyms. You know what I'm saying?
That shit is nice.
I shower
fully
like
furnished.
Yeah, it's fully furnished. You know what I'm saying? It's got a sauna. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Lifetime's a spot to be, and it's to me, it's crazy because like anytime I like just in conversation, if it comes up that like Lifetime is the gym that I go to, people are always like, oh, like that shit's expensive. It's worth it to me. Like it's worth it to me. Like it's also expensive to fucking, I don't know, do other things that people do that I don't do. It's like I save money in other places and I spend them in other places.
The funny thing about that, expenses and shit, and like, as I grow older and become more wiser with my funds and shit like that, and you realize, like, look, this is the price to pay investing in myself. This is the price to pay. This is the price to pay. Like I always have to view shit in different perspectives for me to be okay with what it is that I'm doing. Like LeBron James, nigga spends over $1 million on his body. My nigga, $150 times 12.
Yeah.
That's straight. Yeah. That's straight. I charge that.
You account for it in your head.
And it's also, you also view it different in terms of, oh, but I could just go to the gym. It's another thing when you actually really trying to make gains and really trying to make improvements to yourself. Like you're like, yo, I have these goals and I'm trying to reach them.
And sometimes I'd be thinking about that too, because a lot of times I work out at the crib. Like I still work out at home, even though I have a lifetime membership. 100%. But it's sometimes I want access to the equipment that's there.
And then it just goes back to what you said, like, nigga, you don't spend $300 on those shoes.
Yeah,
you spend $300 on the equipment.
Yeah,
like, bro, I will charge this bread on my body.
Yeah,
charge it to the game.
Yeah.
Like, this is like
it's for my,
this is my well-being.
Yeah,
same thing with food. Like, I don't fuck with the fast food.
Yeah,
I'd much rather spend a little bit more to, you know what, to food. Enjoy this shit, and also my body will appreciate this.
Yeah,
like dog, it's crazy because I'm not, look, a lot of people are at that you know, they don't have like the luck of the draw, and they don't have necessarily a lot of options, and they're forced to, like, not forced, right? But like all that's around you is shit options. But if you really got, like, if you got the accessibility to other shit, you have other options, understand that just because it's a little bit more, like, well, my nigga, your life is worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we could always get into self-sustenance. We could do that for other episodes of shit. There's a lot of things you could do for yourself, and you could just cut costs completely as well too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But all right, man. I guess we'll see y'all next time. Same time, same place.
Early.
You know what I'm saying? Next week.
Early.